Now, Bighorns, you guys run a ship shop store shop? What the fuck was I thinking? School? Where was I going with it? Anyway, it's safe, right? For like children? Or I guess this is a college. Shit, we're fucked. Oh no, college is where all the bad things happen to people. No. We're not safe here, Ellie. Let's just keep going this way. There's actually 2 entrances. There's like an element of like almost... I guess disaster porn's not the correct thing to call it because... I get some people call it misery porn, I think. Disaster would not be accurate because that's like a Roland Emmerich film. But like, you just go to all these places and because there's no exceptions, you're like, well, something bad's gonna happen here too. That's all that ever happens. It's even highlighted by the fact that like, we magically transport from place to place in a time transition where they're like, now it's summer. And then you just are somewhere else now. Because that was the part where stuff didn't go wrong. Can you imagine being like a fictional character that knows when the audience is watching or isn't watching? And it's like, oh shit, they're here now. That means this, oh no, today's gonna suck. It's not one of those off-screen days. It's one of the ones where we just get fucked. What are you hiding back here in this corner? I already found your level up juice. I found your level up juice. You can't keep it from me. That's pretty good. Though that's pretty good too. It's 100. That's 100 level up juice. All that work to make my health bar like 40% longer is the max. It looks nice now. It wraps all the way back around to the gun icon. It looks like it was always designed to be that size. Because that's why I should be upgrading my health, is for cosmetic reasons. Is there a way into that place? I don't know why I'm walking backwards. Wait, how do you enter this booth? Did I miss it? Is it just this bush has overgrown the entrance? That's exactly what happened. There's a door over there. How do you get up there, though? What the fuck? Wait. What the fuck is the construction of this building? Wait a minute, no. 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 This bush is supposed to be here, I think. I think these are cosmetic. Yeah, this... I don't think that's an apocalypse bush. That looks like a cosmetic bush. Like it's supposed to be there. Maybe not. It's kind of growing out of the pavement. It might be an apocalypse bush. But even then... As far as I can tell, there's no staircase. Like, look at the way that you get up to the door. As far as I can tell, you get up to that door for if you're the guy that does the toll booth for this place every day of your life. They didn't even bother to make you a staircase. It's like you get to work by, like, hopping up or something over, like, furnished, like, whatever what do you call this stuff? The molding or whatever? I don't know. The crap at the bottom of walls that sticks out. Like, that stuff's all sticking out in your way to make it harder to climb up. These guys are assholes. He doesn't even have, like, a ladder. No, there's no steps. Hey, Ellie. I like... You get a cool Slender Man thing going on where you keep teleporting when I'm not looking at you and you're just in a different spot. It's all spooky. Are you the same thing? You're the same thing, aren't you? First of all... Who puts shelves in front of the window that you need to interact with people through, so it's like half of it's blocked? But then, yeah, you can see the door back there. The door is back there, but the door is facing this shit. And there's no way into that. This is a horrible construction plan. I bet you they went to most days of work by hopping in through their window, because it's easier than going into the actual door that's made for human entrances. What is this nonsense? And some architect is a hack.
Okay. None of these buildings look like a mirror.
Well, we'll head to Central Grounds. Should be able to see most of the campus from there.
How are they doing that? It's floating. Oh, this level has some weird elements floating around. Hello, Ding Hall. Ding Hall. They do have a weird amount of like large truck storage containers just sitting around a college campus, don't they? That's kind of a weird detail. Maybe that's an apocalypse scenario thing where somebody put them there for some reason. I don't know. But that's not supposed to be floating there. It's just a floating sign. An empty-ass courtyard. Huh. But the real reason the toll booth has a weird door that doesn't make sense is probably because it's probably copy-pasted from somewhere else. Although, maybe not, I don't know. Have we seen brick toll booths before in this game? Maybe. I'm not altogether certain. There's kind of a fun paradox in modern video games where it's like you're encouraged to look very closely at the details for all the environmental... Sorry? For all the environmental storytelling going on. But also, the closer you look, the more weird video gamey details you're gonna start noticing, like how one object repeats 17 times in the same room with the same graffiti on it, like we saw before. Not 17 is an exaggeration, but we saw the same graffiti on the same object repeating. But there's cool details too, like look, that's a barricaded doorway to keep the zombies out. Good plan. I don't know about just leaning a pallet against a door, but that might be more of an incidental pallet that's not apocalypse related. The trucks are a little bit of a weird detail. Somebody like drove it in at this angle and then unhitched it here. Yeah, these two might be some kind of attempt at like a tiered narrowing and blocking of line of sight so that maybe maybe if people were living here during the apocalypse, they'd be able to hang out a little bit outside without immediately being spotted from the street by zombies that are passing by due to some staggering use of parked trucks. Although way over there, and behind that wall, there is a shipping container that's just sitting there. And there is a large number of shipping containers in general here. I'm trying to piece together the story here a little bit, because that's like the point of this kind of stuff. You could interpret it as they went to some kind of shipping warehouse that had, you know, which is how a lot of our food is transported and processed and stuff in modern society, and just stole some trucks and brought them over here. Because if this was like somebody's survivor hideout for a while. This makes it look like it was important enough to them to crash through that thing, but then that's how far they made it somehow? Like they were going fast enough that they crashed through this thing and broke it off, but then they stopped at that exact spot, and then they burst their tire on the door, on the sidewalk and just call it quits? Like, oh, I guess I die now. Maybe they got shot right there. I've been conditioned by way too many games to see something like this sticking out and like having the color stand out and then think like, oh no, I have to play Pipe Dream now. No, not again. I just finished a puzzle game where like one of the big climactic puzzles in the final chapter of the entire game was Pipe Dream. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you know what you did? Do you even understand? We might be safe from incoming shooters, Ellie, because I'm not seeing a lot of chest-high walls.
So, these places, people would live here and just study, even though they were all grown up?
Yeah, study, party, and find themselves. Figure out what they wanted to do with their lives.
What they wanted to do with their lives.
She has to process that entire premise. Because people don't do things with their lives for the most part in this society. They just try to live at all. Which I don't entirely buy as a premise. By the way, I have zero idea whatsoever of which directions are the way I have to go and which way are random side spots. So I'll try to poke around and find stuff, but I'm a little scared that I'm gonna not find the right stuff. Is that a flamethrower? Oh, I forgot you existed. Neat. I may remember the story beats, but I sure as hell don't remember the levels of this game.
Alright.
What do flamethrower upgrades look like? Range, power, reload speed, sure. We haven't had any big spike of part counts though, and we have not unlocked a new tool. Although, this might be a room where you find one. Oftentimes the rooms where the workbenches are in seem to be, at least early on in the game, where you also find the tools. I think that was in part because if they didn't do that, you wouldn't know why you just picked up tools. Like, why did I just pick up what looked like a bolt cutter? And why am I holding on to it? And where to go in my inventory? But if you find your first weapon upgrading spot, you're like, ah, it wants me to have bolt cutters. Apparently, you can only upgrade a flamethrower if you have 5 bolt cutters. I don't really understand the logic behind it, but I guess that's why I don't have an engineering degree. Otherwise, I would understand. Ooh.
There was a lookout here.
That's a good sign.
Or a bad sign. August 29th. Nothing. Didn't they say people were coming? What's the point of being out here if nothing happens? Still nothing. Mark, quit your bitching. Plenty of time to read up here. Working guard duty on the science lab. That's true misery. 5 new recruits from Chicago QZ. In Indianapolis? Or just in? Oh well. Ha, finally. One of them gave me a pack of smokes for doing a good job. Sweet. 6 guys from HQ. Takes 6 guys to deliver 1 truck? Must be worse out there than I remember. Uh-oh. He's weirded out by that. That might be a bad sign. Supply delivery from HQ. In. By the way, snagged 2 apples from one of the crates. Left you one. Enjoy. 10 million werewolves. In. Let him in just for you, Andrea. Happy Halloween. Recon went out to scavenge some supplies in town. Out. Redcon returned. In. Roger yelled at me for sleeping. Prick. Well, it is your only job, to be fair. Biologist from San Francisco. In. Guy's a real asshole. Watch out for him. 3 new recruits as escort. In. At least they wished me a Merry Christmas. Didn't feel like telling them I was Jewish. And then last update was from February 22nd. 10 crates from UT Hospital. A lot of lab stuff. In. So that does match up with some of the stuff about how Ellie's supposed to be the cure, and we're supposed to be meeting up with people that are supposed to deal with that kind of stuff. And yeah, it would. At first I was like, why is in there? Or in particular, it being capitalized, I was like, I didn't know what they meant at first, but they're specifically keeping track of how many people go in and out. Keep a total and all that. I was a little worried about how many people were involved with the truck. Like if that means something bad. But then a bunch of time passed after that, I think. What is powering that lamp? Does this place have power? Just having fun?
Let's go back.
Oh. Never mind.
I'll stay with Callus.
I hate that name.
What is your issue with Callus? Is it because you want to be the callous one and you get jealous when other people get to be called callous? It's not really like an impressive thing to stick to. Wait. Oh, both sides are barbed wire, huh? And he won't go over that? Oh, you do have to find a different route. That back door's not working. Ah. I just naturally checked out a side path and didn't really think about it, but then I looked forward to what I thought the direction is you'd want to go in, and it's actually all barbed wire. Nope, there's no door over here either. You must have to use Callus. Because they jumped over the barbed wire barriers in the previous area. How, Joel, is this... You can't jump over barbed wire? Is whatever, I guess.
That was fun.
Good job, Callus. That was your one job and you did it. These are much leaner horses than like they always look really lean and skinny to me than compared to ones I've seen otherwise. They almost seem to have a more similar frame to the ones you see that are like actually skeletons in like horror media and stuff like that. I imagine they may be having some trouble feeding them. How well are we taking care of a horse in addition to ourselves in this kind of setting?
How many people do you think are there? Fireflies, I mean.
I reckon it takes quite a crew to run that operation.
You think there'll be other people my age?
I'm not sure.
Have absolutely no clue, but I'm guessing he's leaning towards no. They seem more of a militant organization.
Sounds like runners.
Stay with the horse. I'll go through it. Yes, I don't want him running off.
Ah.
I'll be right back.
I just went and trapped myself in here. I guess this is where you're supposed to go. Yeah. There's a bunch of them up there. We get hints at what the Fireflies are, but it's actually... I think it's largely not explained very clearly. So you're kind of up in the air about what to think about them.
Looks like someone jerry-rigged this thing.
We had to rig up the door to the generator upstairs. Please use it sparingly as we're running out of gas. Got a new flamethrower to play with. So far, the Fireflies are largely described by what they're not, which is that our brother is this peaceful person that's not willing to do the kind of stuff we did to survive and says it wasn't worth it, and is growing a community of seemingly peaceful people that are all like working towards like, we're engineers, we're gonna work at the power plant and all this other stuff. And he left the Fireflies, which seems to be maybe inform us a little bit about the Fireflies themselves. But on the other hand, we have those people that like the people that have the big old truck that with the Gatling gun on top of it, that were just mowing people down and ambushing innocent people that were unarmed and gunning them to death while they were begging for their lives, and then complaining they didn't have any cool loot on them, while going back to talking about the weather. And while those people did temporarily ally with the Fireflies seemingly in the beginning when the military outposts were withholding food, it seems those two parties quickly parted ways. It's been, I've had comments that indicate the idea that you should, that those guys are a conduit for judging the Fireflies, but I'm not sure if I agree with that idea, because it seems that instead they were circumstantial allies in the initial problem of like the outbreak happening and the military holding control and abusing that power and starving its citizens and stuff like that. And they united based on the premise of fighting against that, but then they had very different ideas of where to actually go after that. Shit. Really? God damn it. Better. I went a little better, but I burned through my arrows pretty bad. Damn it. Which ones do I get to keep any of them? Okay. I got to get 2 of them back at least. I think it's not entirely fair to judge the Fireflies by the actions of the other really fucked up group we've encountered, because it seems unlikely that they were allied for those reasons. In fact, they specifically killed a Firefly representative when they decided to break free from the Fireflies, because they had because of said ideological differences. It kind of stinks a little bit of, like, judging Republicans because of the KKK, essentially. It's like, well, we can find an issue where the 2 of them sided with each other, technically. That means they agree on everything and are allies. And you can judge them for each other's actions. And that's, like, it's not how that works. That guy's not gonna wander anywhere. It's just the one person that doesn't actively look around. There we go. Ah! Jesus, what the fuck? There goes that plan. There goes that plan. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? Are you dead? Okay. You know, I only lost 1 pip of health. I only lost 1 pip of health. We're doing okay. It's fine. That could have gone way worse. And I got to save some arrows by not having to do any more arrow use, I guess. Do I get that one? Yeah, I get that one back. But yeah, I don't think the Fireflies necessarily condone the behavior of whatever that group was called. I don't think they had a name. But the raiders we had as we were trying to escape town. Club Dread, Reggae Night. But we don't have a lot to go on with the Fireflies. We don't play as a Firefly character. We don't really interact with anyone from the Fireflies, except for very briefly that one lady from the very beginning of the game, which we meet twice. I don't even remember if she's a leader or not. Like, is she the leader of the group?
I would have wanted to be an astronaut.
That a fact.
Oh, she's thinking about what she would do if she had a life where she had opportunities. Oh, I'm sad now. Oops, wrong button. The woman from the beginning of the game, she seemed like she was framed as being Queen. They called her Queen Firefly, right? I don't know if that means she's the overall leader or just the local leader of the Fireflies. But it seems to at least point towards the idea that if she is a leadership character and she cares about saving humanity, then that's at least a greater purpose than anything those other assholes were doing, which is they just want to steal people's shoes and food and shit, and then murder them.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to want to be a singer.
Shut up.
No, serious.
Sing something.
No.
Come on, I won't laugh.
I don't think so.
Joel.
Yeah, Joel, why won't you sing? Is it because we're on constant threat of being murdered as we explore, and maybe this should happen in a more stationary, safer setting? Yeah, that might be a little bit of it. I have so many guns now. Glad I got those goddamn upgrades out of the way, like, as fast as possible. That gives me the holsters. It's like the most important upgrades in the game. Just because they double the number of weapons you have access to on your D-pad without having to do the thing where you hold it down for a while. So I didn't get to explore any of that area because I pressed that button. Or did I? Wait. I might still be able to. She opened it up for the horse to go through. So I may have not permanently locked myself out from being able to gather resources. Yeah! It's hard to tell what's a side area or not, because part of having interesting level design and dealing with a broken down debris-filled area is to make the main obvious paths not open.
Shit.
Oh, he's noticing the blocked door. I'm like, we've been around that already, Joel. You can see her through it. We're good. There might not actually be anything around here. How many mailboxes do they have? I've never been on a proper large college campus area. I went to college, but I never even went to... Yeah, I've never visited the dorms of the college I went to. I don't know... I don't think I even know where they are. And I went there for 5.5 years. I don't know where the dorms even were, or what they looked like, or whether there was like a bunch of mailboxes everywhere. My first thought was, that's a weird number of mailboxes on a school campus, what the hell? Then I remember, oh, because that's the dormitories where all the people were living. But then I'm like, wait, do they have the same kind of structure of the usual boxes for mail? Or do they have a different system? And now I'm just in a loop of questioning myself because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I didn't find shit. Besides self-doubt. But I can get that anywhere. It's easy. It comes cheap. It's called having a YouTube channel. It's a great way to doubt yourself constantly. What are you, blind? I find your lack of Dark Souls knowledge baffling. You're not a real door. You're a 2D image. You can't fool me. Up close. Huh. Not finding a lot of stuff. They got really... That stuff got really good looking. The reflective water looks... It's one of those things you don't think about as much in earlier video games, and then they start doing it, and you're like, oh, they're doing that now. Isn't that a nice little detail? Get ready, TVN34. What? Okay. What? What? Okay. That's a very open area where you might think something might happen.
Well, scoot.
Cutscene. No?
Aw, those monkeys?
Yeah, a whole mess of them.
Surprisingly, no instant cutscene. Whenever I get on a horse and hop over something, I'm like, oh, this is when the game has total control of the situation. This is when they can do something cinematic as a surprise. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to throw bottles at you, or pretend to throw bottles at you almost, really. Monkeys. Wandering around. I guess they're from the zoo? There must have been a zoo. There were zoos everywhere. I don't think monkeys are native to the North America. Hey guys. You don't want me to look at you up close, do ya? Alright, bye. That was the least efficient path to take away from me, but cool. What do you have in the garbage? What does that say? John... Call rule? But look, there's like a... Who's supposed to name Johnnn? Am I even am I reading that right?
That was kind of awesome.
Well, first time seeing a monkey?
First time seeing a monkey.
There's the track. I don't think we're gonna poke into there. There may not be a ton to discover in these areas because they might expect you just to stay on the horse until you can't. But not exploring is irresponsible, and that is hard to read.